And I'm going to share with you guys a potion I use here on the farm to get rid of and control rodents and some insects. Stay tuned, I'm going to share it with you guys. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. Anybody who has a farm or lives in a rural area has, well, livestock, or even in urban areas, they have problems with rodents getting into your attics, your crawl space, into your kitchen, your pantry, into your sheds. Oh, they're destructive, even in the engine compartments of your cars, and chewing through the wiring of your cars, causing thousands of dollars worth of damage. Well, hey, I've got a simple potion, homemade, that you probably have in your cupboard right now. I'm going to explain how it works. Okay, so it's not cottage cheese, but I pre-mixed a bunch of potion in this cottage cheese container so I can keep it dry and I keep it safe away from the rodents, because I use a box of a mix, whether it's Jiffy cornbread mix, cornmeal mix, simple flour, cake mix. Use a mix that will attract a rodent. And then I use also a small box of baking soda. Make sure your baking soda is fresh. The fresher the baking soda, the more potent it is to killing rodents and insects. Yeah, let me explain. So I had some rodents getting into my barn. I poured this stuff out on the floor. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Just poured it out on the floor, and you can see the evidence of the rodents eating it. I mean, they leave little gifts behind. And yeah, a lot of little gifts. But when they eat that, they go back to their nest and die. If they make it back to their nest. Let me explain. Now, I've had them getting into the crawl spaces under my house. I've had them getting to the attic of the bunny bungalow. And more recently, I had them getting into a shed. How they got into the storage shed, I don't know. But they do get into cars, into the engine compartments. And that's why when I park cars for a long period of time, I leave the engine compartment lid open, because it exposes the area, and the rodents don't like to make a nest in an open area. So yes, I've had problems in the bunny bungalow. Solution. I came up with a solution. I found out where they were getting into where the rabbits are. I clogged those up. I fortified their entry points, and they not getting in anymore. I put this bait out around underneath, away from the rodents. Now, let me explain how baking soda works. Baking soda is when you add a little bit of baking soda to a little bit of vinegar, you can watch it bubble. Yeah, do that as a science experiment. Just add like a teaspoon of baking soda to a little bit of vinegar. Vinegar is an acid. Baking soda is a base. When the baking soda goes into the rodent's gut, it mixes with the rodent's stomach acid and starts bubbling. Now, a rodent's alimentary system, or their, let's call it a poop chute, is long and complex, so they don't flatulate as readily as you and I, and they don't have the sphincter or the ability, the built-in mechanisms to be able to burp to express the gas, so it builds up, and they don't blow up with guts all over the place. No, that ain't gonna happen. It just internally, it's all contained internally. Now here's an example of, in my storage shed recently, I heard a noise. It was a rat. I put the baking soda cornbread mix on a lid on the floor, and then went back a couple days later, and this is what I found. Yeah, it didn't make it back to its nest. It ate the baking soda and cornbread mix, and then got a couple of feet away, curled up, and died. Now, I've trapped rats and I've trapped squirrels, so it works on both rats, squirrels, moles, voles, gophers, and some other rodents. It works on those. It just be careful where you put it and how much you're using. Now, I keep my quantity small. I only use about 4 tablespoons of baking soda to 4 tablespoons of mix, whatever mix you're going to choose. It can be any kind of mix that will attract a rodent. And then once it, I have evidence of them not suffering much. They just go in the corner of the cage, curl up, and they die. So that's a good thing. The problem with having rodents on a farm is we're mandated by law to be controlling rodent populations around livestock and livestock feed. I've had a squirrel recently come in and eat up all the eggs, my turkey eggs, my duck eggs, my chicken eggs, and they even ate my baby chicks, newly hatched baby chicks, my newly hatched baby turkeys. This was a beast, so I had to take measures. I live trapped it, and I used it as a litmus test to show how baking soda and cornbread works at eradicating this beast. Since I killed this beast last year, I've had no problems with rodents eating my eggs. And like I say, you've got to manage rodent population. You're mandated by law. Yes, you're mandated by law to control rodent populations. Also, there's something else you need to be aware of. You cannot live trap a vector. Rodents are vectors that carry diseases. They spread diseases which kills humans, and they can also cause animal death, livestock death. So they kill humans, they kill livestock. They're just they're a vector. They carry disease. So you have to dispatch them. That's the law. Follow the law in your areas. I know in Southern California you have a protected species of a rodent, which is, I think it's the kangaroo rat. It looks like a gerbil. Yeah, don't use it around that area. Just check out your local laws to find out where it's regulated, where you can't use it. Keep it in small amounts, because in small amounts, if your livestock or your pet gets into it, it won't harm them. No, it will not harm a bird. No, that small amount will not harm a dog or a cat. It will not harm beneficial wildlife, which is important. So if the rodent goes out and dies on its way to its nest and it's out in the open, and a hawk or an owl comes down, or even a fox comes in and it gets an easy meal and they eat it, ingesting that rodent that was killed by baking soda will not harm the beneficial wildlife. And it won't harm your dog or your cat or your chicken, because chickens do eat mice. It won't harm them either, because it doesn't affect them the same way it affects the rodent. Like I said, chickens, dogs, cats, they can flatulate, they can burp, birds can burp. You know, it's safe for them. But too much of it, beware. It's a pH adjuster. It can change the pH level of their system if they ingest too much, and it can be harmful for them. So be careful, be aware of that. And that's my potion for controlling rodents in your house, your farm, your homestead, your ranch. I'm Jerry Hansen, your host. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. Please stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by subscribing, clicking that bell icon that alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Give us a thumbs up, click that share button. Sharing my videos on your social media platforms helps us out. Remember, be safe, and we'll see you guys in our next adventure. Bye-bye now.